You know that feeling, that prickle on the back of your neck when you feel like you're being watched, even in an empty room? Today, we're going to take that feeling and crank it way up. What if the thing watching you, the thing hunting you, looks exactly like you?
And that's exactly what happened here. This comes from a specialist, a guy who tracks the unknown for a living. I mean, this is his job. But on one hunt, the tables didn't just turn. They were completely flipped in the most terrifying way you can imagine. Just really think about that for a second. You're out there, deep in the woods, you're on a fresh trail, closing in. And then you look down, and you realize the boot prints you've been tracking are identical to the ones you're making, and they're headed straight for you. So this impossible discovery, this is where our story really kicks off. It's the moment that just shatters the fundamental rules of being a predator or being prey. Every single instinct this hunter has is screaming that this is wrong. The air smells weird like rust, and the evidence right there on the ground, it just defies all logic. He's being stalked by something that can not only mimic him, but seems to know where he's going to be before he does. Okay, so let's break this down. The hunt has a simple power dynamic, right? The hunter follows, the prey runs. The hunter has the advantage, the prey is trying to survive. But this just flips the whole script. The hunter is the prey, and the thing hunting him is an impossible copy of himself. You know, this fear of a perfect evil twin isn't new. Not at all. In fact, it's this incredibly deep-seated primal terror that has a name and a history that goes back for centuries. The word we all know is doppelgänger. It actually comes from an 18th century German novel, but the idea itself is way older. It literally means double walker, and pretty much across the board in any culture, seeing one was a sign that something very, very bad was about to happen. And you can see just how universal this concept is. The ancient Egyptians believed in the Ka, a literal spirit double that had your memories and your feelings. Norse myths have the Vardagr, which is this ghostly twin that you'd see doing things just before you did them. And in Irish folklore, if you saw a fetch of a friend, it was a sure sign they were about to die. This fear is baked into our DNA. Now, there's a really interesting distinction to make here. The classic doppelganger is something external. It's a ghost, a phantom that looks like you. But then Gothic literature came along and took that fear and turned it inward. Think Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The monster isn't just out there, it's a hidden, darker part of you. And this quote just nails the feeling. This is the heart of the horror. It's not about seeing some random monster. It's about looking at something you know, something familiar, your own face in the mirror, your own boot prints in the mud, and suddenly feeling like it's completely alien and wrong. That's true terror. And this whole idea of the double gets way more terrifying when you look at how these things are portrayed in old stories. They're not just spooky omens that stand there. Oh no, they are active hunters, and their number one weapon is mimicry. For example, you've got the Leshy from Slavic folklore. It's a master of deception. It'll make sounds like an animal to draw you off the path. Or even worse, it'll mimic the voice of someone you love to lure you into a trap, deeper and deeper into the woods until you're totally lost. And don't for a second think this is just some dusty old myth. This quote, it's from a modern online horror story, a creepypasta. But the tactics are exactly the same. The creature uses the voices the victim trusts the most, her best friend, her dad, to create this false sense of safety right before it strikes. So you see the pattern here, right? This is a calculated strategy. It's a hunt based on pure psychological warfare. Get the target alone, use their own emotions against them, and then, only when they're completely helpless, do you show them the monster they've been following. Which brings us right back to our hunter out in the woods. Because what he finally comes face to face with is not just some mindless monster that looks like him. It's something far, far more intelligent, and that's what makes it so much worse.
I mean, can you even imagine that moment? After hours of being hunted, this thing steps out. It's a warped version of you. The proportions are wrong, the smile is way too wide, and then it speaks in your voice. And it doesn't just make a sound, it forms a sentence, a taunt. This isn't an animal, this is a thinking, strategic predator.
And other stories from government hunters who track these things, they all point to the same thing. These creatures don't just ambush, they'll strategically wreck a truck to trap you. They show what looks like spite, like malice. And the most chilling theory?
is that they aren't even individuals, but more like puppets, projections of a single, huge, intelligent entity that we can't even begin to comprehend.
And this is the question that probably keeps those researchers up at night. These things eat people, but they don't get bigger. The victim's mass, their body, it just vanishes. The main theory is that the victims aren't being digested here, in our world. They're being redirected, somewhere else.
So as our hunter is standing there, completely frozen in front of this double, this monster, the final piece of the puzzle clicks into place, and it confirms his absolute worst fears.
In the dead silence of the woods, his radio suddenly crackles to life.
But it's not a rescue team. It's a recording. It's a chilling echo. His own voice playing back a message he made for himself just hours before.
A warning he must have set up, now playing back at the absolute worst possible moment.
And there it is, the horrifying confirmation. The tracks were never a trail to be followed. They were a lure, a trap, designed from the very beginning by an intelligent predator to lead him to this exact spot.
And that's really the thought that sticks with you, isn't it? This ancient horror of the double feels more real today than ever before. I mean, we live in an age of deepfakes and AI voices. The line between what's real and what's a perfect copy is getting so blurry. If something can mimic a person perfectly, it's not just a monster in the woods anymore. It's the fake social media profile, the cloned voice on the phone call, the video that looks and sounds exactly like someone you trust. So the question isn't just, how can you be sure who you're talking to? It's, in a world of perfect mimics, what does being real even mean anymore?